The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched. High above the assembled delegates, hundreds of species filled the floating seats that circled the central platform. Ambassador Jake Morrison stood at the human podium with Commander Lisa Hayes beside him. They had waited 3 years for this moment. Counselor Vexstar raised his crystalline hand for silence. The insectoid leader of the Safety Commission looked troubled. His compound eyes reflected the holographic display he was about to share. Jake noticed several council members whispering among themselves. Distinguished members of the council, Vexstar began, his voice translating through neural links. We gathered today to discuss humanity's application for full membership. He paused, and the chamber fell silent. However, we have discovered information that concerns us greatly. The holographic display activated above the center platform. A blue and green planet appeared. Rotating slowly, Earth looked peaceful and beautiful from space. White clouds swirled over vast oceans. This is the human homeworld. Vexstar continued. Our automated survey systems have completed their analysis. He touched a control, and numbers appeared beside the planet. The danger classification is complete. Elder Kronloth leaned forward in his seat. The peaceful herbivore species had supported humanity from the beginning. Surely, there must be some mistake. He said gently, we have met with humans many times and found them quite pleasant. Vexstar antennae twitched with what might have been sympathy. There is no mistake, honored Elder. The numbers glowed brighter in the hologram. Earth has been rated as a Class 12 extreme hazard world. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Delegates turned to their neighbors in disbelief. Lisa glanced at Jake with a slight smile. They had expected something like this. Class 12, repeated a delegate from the aquatic Myra species. Only 3 other worlds in known space carry that rating. All 3 are under permanent quarantine, added another voice. No intelligent life has ever evolved on a Class 12 world. Vexstar waited for the noise to settle before continuing. According to our data, the human homeworld presents multiple extreme hazards. The hologram shifted to show different regions of Earth. Atmospheric oxygen content exceeds safe levels for most species. The gravity is 1 standard G, which is crushing for many of us. Images of hurricanes, tornadoes, and earthquakes flashed across the display. Severe weather events occur with alarming frequency. Tectonic activity causes regular planetary upheavals. More images appeared showing Earth's diverse ecosystems. The planet hosts an excessive number of apex predators. Venomous species number in the tens of thousands. Bacterial and viral diversity far exceeds safe parameters. Jake raised his hand to speak. Vexstar nodded permission. Counselor, may I ask a question? Of course, Ambassador Morrison. What exactly does Class 12 mean for our application? Jake kept his tone respectful but firm. Are you suggesting humans shouldn't be allowed membership because our planet is dangerous? Vexstar's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. We are suggesting, Ambassador, that we need to understand something. He gestured at the hologram. How did your species not only survive but thrive on such a hostile world? Lisa stepped forward. If I may, Counselor, speak. Commander Hayes. We don't consider Earth particularly hostile. Lisa said calmly. It's our home and we're adapted to it. Just as every species here is adapted to their own world. A delegate from a low-gravity species spoke up. But Commander, your world would kill most of us within hours. The atmospheric oxygen alone is highly toxic. How can you call that normal? Jake smiled slightly. Normal is relative. Honored delegates, what seems dangerous to you is simply everyday life for us. We've evolved alongside every challenge our planet presents. Elder Kronos stroked his long whiskers thoughtfully. Perhaps we need a different approach to this question. Words and data can only tell us so much. What if we sent a delegation to Earth to observe directly? The chamber filled with nervous chatter again. Several delegates looked horrified at the suggestion. Others seemed intrigued, despite their concerns. Vexstar raised his hand for silence once more. That is an interesting proposal. Elder Cronoth, however, sending council members to a Class 12 world would be unprecedented. The safety risks are considerable. Jake saw an opportunity. We would be honored to host a delegation from the council. We can provide accommodations and protection for any species. Earth has many research facilities designed for various atmospheric and gravity requirements, Lisa added. We've successfully hosted visitors from 17 different species already. All returned home safely and in good health. We understand the precautions necessary. The council members debated among themselves. Some argued it was too dangerous. Others insisted they needed to see humanity's world to make a fair judgment. Vexstar listened to all sides before making his decision. Very well, he announced. I propose we send a research team of 6 members, representing different species. They will observe human society and environment for 48 hours minimum. Their report will determine whether humanity's application proceeds. Elder Cronoth nodded approvingly. I support this proposal. Understanding must come before judgment. The vote was called despite some opposition. The majority supported sending the delegation. Jake felt relief wash over him. This was a chance to show the council who humans really were. Vexstar approached Jake and Lisa after the session ended. His expression was difficult to read. Ambassador. Commander, I must be honest with you. Many council members are frightened of what we might discover. We understand. Counselor, Jake replied. We're not offended by caution. We just want the opportunity to demonstrate the truth. The truth is what concerns me. Vexstar said quietly. A Class 12 world produces either no intelligent life or something quite dangerous. If humanity survived and flourished there, what does that make you? Lisa met his compound eyes directly. That's what your delegation will find out. We're not hiding anything from the council. Come to Earth and see for yourself. Vexstar's antennae dipped in acknowledgement. I hope you understand the stakes. Commander, this may be humanity's only chance. If the delegation reports unfavorably, your application will be permanently denied. We accept those terms. Jake said firmly, we believe in what humanity has to offer the galaxy. Our world made us strong, but it also taught us compassion. You'll see that when you visit. The counselor turned to leave, but paused. I will be joining the delegation personally. I need to see this with my own eyes. Prepare your world. Ambassador, we arrive in 10 standard days. As Vexstar walked away, Lisa let out a long breath. Well, that went better than expected. At least they're willing to visit. Jake watched the counselor disappear into the crowd. Now comes the hard part. We need to show them Earth without sugarcoating anything. If we hide the dangers, they'll never trust us. And if we show them everything, Lisa added with a grin, they might run screaming back to their ships. Jake laughed. Then we'll just have to prove that humans are worth the risk. Our planet made us who we are. Let's show them that's a good thing. The shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere with 6 nervous alien delegates aboard. Dr. Ben Carter watched from the landing pad in Colorado as the vessel touched down. Kate Sullivan stood beside him, checking her tablet one last time. They had prepared for this moment carefully. The shuttle's door opened and a ramp extended. 6 figures emerged, each wearing full environmental suits. Their helmets gleamed in the afternoon sunlight. Atmosphere scanners beeped constantly on their beltspan. Stepped forward with a welcoming smile. Greetings, honored delegates. Welcome to Earth. He wore simple jeans and a polo shirt. No protective gear at all. Counselor Vexstar descended first, his movements cautious. Dr. Carter, I presume. How are you surviving the atmospheric conditions without protection? Kate laughed and took a sip from her coffee mug. This is normal air for us. Counselor, actually, it's a beautiful day. Temperature is about 22 degrees Celsius with low humidity. A crystalline being named Zilthar approached slowly. Environmental sensors covered his suit. Dr. Sullivan, our readings show oxygen at 21%. That level is toxic to most carbon-based life. Most, but not humans. Kate replied cheerfully. We need it to survive. Our cells use oxygen to generate energy. We die without it. The aquatic delegate. Myris wobbled slightly on the ramp. The gravity, she gasped through her translator. It's crushing. Me, how do you move under such pressure? Ben walked up the ramp effortlessly and offered her support. You'll get used to it. Hopefully, this is standard gravity for us. We build our muscles from childhood to handle it. Another delegate, a floating gas bag creature, drifted down carefully. The atmospheric pressure is intense, and the temperature fluctuations we detected. From orbit, your planet experiences extreme weather regularly. Kate nodded enthusiastically. Oh yes. We get all kinds of weather here. Thunderstorms, blizzards, tornadoes sometimes. Spring in the Rockies can be unpredictable. Yesterday, it snowed. Today, it's sunny. Vexstar as antennae twitched anxiously. And you consider this normal? Yes. Counselor, Ben confirmed. Weather is just part of life on Earth. We check forecasts and plan accordingly. The delegation began their tour with a walk through a nearby forest. Ben led them along a maintained trail. Kate pointed out various plants and wildlife. The aliens seemed shocked by everything they encountered. This vegetation, Zilthar said, scanning a flowering bush. It contains multiple toxic compounds, respiratory irritants, skin allergens, digestive poisons. How do you survive surrounded by such dangers? Kate touched the bush gently. These are just wildflowers. Some people have allergies. Sure, but most humans can interact with plants safely. Our immune systems handle the minor irritants. A deer emerged from the trees ahead. It stopped and watched the group curiously. Before bounding away, the delegates jumped back in alarm. Myris nearly fell over in her heavy suit. Predator, shouted one of the delegates. We should return to the ship immediately. Ben raised his hands calmingly. That was a deer, a herbivore. It eats plants, not meat. It's more afraid of you than you are of it. But the size. Vexstar protested. The muscle mass. The speed. On most worlds, a creature that large would be an apex predator. We have much larger animals, Kate said casually. Bears, moose, bison. They mostly avoid humans unless provoked. We've learned to coexist with them. The tour continued. And each new discovery brought fresh alarm. A squirrel gathering nuts was mistaken for a vicious tree predator. Bird songs were analyzed as threat calls. Even insects sent the delegates into panic. These flying creatures, Myris said, pointing at a dragonfly. They have powerful mandibles and compound eyes, clearly designed for hunting. Dragonflies eat mosquitoes, Ben explained, which are annoying insects that bite us. The dragonflies are actually helpful. The mosquitoes bite you. Vexstar repeated slowly, and you allow them to exist. Why not eliminate such a threat? Kate shrugged. They're part of the ecosystem. Fish and birds eat them. We use repellent when we go camping. It's not a big deal. As evening approached, Ben suggested they visit his home. The delegates reluctantly agreed. They needed to rest after the overwhelming day. Their suits' power cells were running low. Ben's house was a comfortable suburban home with a garden. His dog Max greeted them at the door. The golden retriever wagged his tail excitedly. The delegates screamed and backed away. Predator in your dwelling, shouted Zilthar, canine species with natural weapons, teeth designed for tearing flesh. Max sat down and tilted his head. Confused by the reaction, Ben knelt and scratched behind the dog's ears. This is Max, my pet. He's friendly and well-trained. Dogs are companions to humans. You domesticated predators, Vexstar said in disbelief. and allow them in your homes, near your offspring. Dogs have been humanity's friends for thousands of years, Kate explained. They protect us, help us, keep us company. Children grow up with dogs safely. It's one of our most successful partnerships with another species inside the house. Ben offered refreshments. The delegates carefully scanned everything. Their devices beeped with warnings constantly. Food that humans consume daily registered as toxic. This beverage, Myris said, analyzing Ben's coffee, contains a stimulant alkaloid, classified as a poison in galactic databases. You drink this voluntarily. Ben smiled and took another sip. Coffee is very popular on Earth. The caffeine helps us wake up and stay alert. Billions of humans drink it every day. Kate offered them some chocolate chip cookies. Anyone want to try a cookie? The scanners went wild with alerts. Theobromine detected. Zilther announced fatal to most species. And yet you offer it as a treat. Chocolate comes from cacao plants. Kate said, it's perfectly safe for humans in normal amounts. We eat it because it tastes good. Sugar, fat, and chocolate are comfort foods for us. Vextar looked at his fellow delegates. They all seemed overwhelmed. Let me understand this correctly. You consume known poisons for pleasure. You coexist with predators willingly. You live under atmospheric and gravitational conditions that would kill most species. And you consider all of this normal. When you put it that way, Ben said thoughtfully, I suppose it does sound extreme. But we've never known anything different. Earth is home. Night fell, and new sounds filled the air. Crickets chirped in rhythmic waves, an owl hooted in a nearby tree. Coyotes howled in the distant hills. The delegates huddled together nervously. Their suit sensors detected dozens of life forms, moving in the darkness. Nocturnal predators. Myris whispered, they hunt while you sleep. Kate looked out the window calmly. Those are just the normal night sounds. Crickets are insects, owls are birds, coyotes stay away from houses. You get used to it. Actually, I find it peaceful. Vextar approached Ben privately. His voice was quiet and serious. Dr. Carter, I must ask you something. Do humans not feel fear? Ben considered the question carefully. We feel fear, Counselor, but we also feel curiosity, joy, determination. Fear is just one emotion among many. We don't let it stop us from living on my world. Vextar said softly, we avoid danger whenever possible. We build our cities in the safest locations. We eliminate threats before they can harm us. You seem to embrace danger instead. Not embrace it exactly, Ben replied. We respect it and prepare for it. Earth taught us to be ready for anything, but also to appreciate the beauty around us. Danger and wonder often come together here. Zilther joined the conversation. We have only been here for 6 hours. Already we have encountered more hazards than most planets present in a year. Yet you seem happy. You smile and laugh. How is this possible? Kate came over with fresh coffee. Because this is our home and we love it. Yes, Earth can be dangerous, but it's also beautiful and full of life. We wouldn't trade it for anything. The delegates settled in for an uncomfortable night. Their suits would protect them while they rested, but sleep came slowly. Every sound outside made them jump. Ben and Kate sat on the porch, enjoying the evening breeze. Max lay at their feet, content and peaceful. Think they're starting to understand. Kate asked. Ben looked up at the stars. I think they're starting to realize just how different we are. Tomorrow will be even more interesting. Ryan Parker stood at the front of his 5th grade classroom, preparing for unusual visitors. The elementary school in suburban Denver buzzed with excitement. 28 children sat at their desks, trying to contain their energy. They knew aliens. We're coming today. Dr. Emma Collins arrived early with the delegation. The pediatric doctor had volunteered to help explain human development. She found the aliens still visibly shaken from their first night on Earth. Vextar looked particularly tired. despite his rest period. "Good morning, honored delegates," Emma said warmly. "Today you'll see how humans raise and educate our young. I think you'll find it enlightening." Myris checked her environmental readings nervously. "You bring your offspring to this location daily, exposed to the same atmospheric conditions, the same gravity and environmental hazards. Children go to school 5 days a week," Emma confirmed. "From age 5 until 18 typically. Education and socialization are important for development." The delegation entered the classroom. Children's eyes went wide with wonder. Some waved enthusiastically. Others whispered excitedly to their neighbors. Ryan smiled at his students. "Class, please welcome our special guests from the Galactic Council. They're here to learn about Earth and humanity." A girl named Sophie raised her hand immediately. "Are you really from other planets? What's space like? Do you have pizza on your worlds? Like stars?" Translators struggled with the rapid questions. "We are indeed from other worlds. Young human, space is vast and contains many wonders. I am unfamiliar with this pizza you mention." The class erupted in gasps. "You don't have pizza," exclaimed a boy named Danny. "That's so sad. Pizza is the best food ever," Emma laughed at the delegates' confused expressions. "Pizza is a popular food here. Bread with tomato sauce and cheese. Children love it." Zilther scanned the room with his instruments. "Dr. Collins, these offspring are quite small. Their skeletal and muscular systems appear underdeveloped. How do they survive the gravity? Human children are born relatively helpless," Emma explained. "They develop strength and coordination over many years. By age 5, they can walk, run, and play independently. Their bodies continue developing until early 20s. Ryan announced recess time. The children jumped up and rushed outside. The delegates followed cautiously. What they saw made them freeze in shock. Playground featured tall metal structures. Slides dropped from heights of 3 meters. Swings arced through the air. Climbing equipment created a complex web of bars and ropes. "This is a training facility," Vextar stated. "These structures are designed to build combat skills. You prepare your young for warfare from early age." Ryan looked genuinely surprised. "This is just a playground. Kids play here for fun. It helps them develop coordination, strength, and confidence." They watched as Sophie climbed to the top of the jungle gym. She hung upside down from the bars by her knees. Other children clambered around her. Laughing, Danny went down the slide headfirst on his stomach. Maris clutched her suit's support harness. "They're falling." "No. They're climbing voluntarily to dangerous heights." "This is madness." Emma pointed to a group playing soccer. "That's a team sport called football or soccer. It teaches cooperation, strategy, and physical fitness. Children all over Earth play it." The delegates watched as kids ran, kicked, and occasionally collided. When 2 boys bumped into each other, they both fell. They got up immediately, laughed, and kept playing. No one seemed concerned. "They injured themselves," Zilther exclaimed. "Yet they continue the activity. Do they not feel pain?" "They feel pain," Emma assured him, "but minor bumps and bruises are part of playing. Human children are resilient. Small injuries help them learn their physical limits." A girl fell off the monkey bars and scraped her knee. She looked at it, brushed off the dirt, and climbed back up. Ryan walked over and checked on her. "You okay?" "Hannah, I'm fine, Mr. Parker," she replied cheerfully. Vexter approached the girl carefully. "Young human, you are injured. Does it not hurt?" Hannah looked at her scraped knee. "It stings a little, but I'm okay. I've had worse. Last week I fell off my bike. Your transport device." Myris said, "You operate vehicles at this age, with underdeveloped motor control. Bikes are fun," Hannah explained. "You fall sometimes when you're learning, but that's normal. My dad says if you never fall, you never learn." The delegates gathered near a bench while Emma continued explaining. Human development requires physical challenges. Children build strong bones through impact and stress. Their immune systems need exposure to bacteria and viruses. You deliberately expose them to pathogens. Vextar said in disbelief. We call them vaccines. Emma confirmed. Controlled exposure helps their bodies learn to fight disease. It's one of our greatest medical achievements. Zilfer processed this information slowly. Let me understand your methods. You allow your offspring to fall and injure themselves. You inject them with weakened diseases. You make them compete in physical contests. You expose them to the same environmental dangers that affect adults. When you list it like that, it sounds harsh, Ryan admitted. But we're not trying to hurt them. We're preparing them for life on Earth. They need to be strong and adaptable, Emma added. Human children who grow up in overly protected environments often struggle later. They don't develop proper immune responses. They lack confidence in their physical abilities. Controlled risk during childhood creates capable adults. The class went back inside for science lesson. Ryan showed them a terrarium with several insects. The children crowded around, fascinated. Some even held the beetles and caterpillars. They're touching the insects. Myrises gasped, voluntarily placing potentially venomous creatures on their skin. A boy named Carlos held up a beetle proudly. This is a rhinoceros beetle. They're really strong for their size. Want to hold him? Vextar backed away instinctively. That creature has defensive mandibles. It could puncture your skin. Carlos shrugged. Beetles don't usually bite people unless you squeeze them. You just have to be gentle. See, he's walking on my hand. The afternoon included a field trip to a nearby park. Emma led the way while Ryan supervised the children. They passed several dogs being walked by their owners. The children stopped to pet many of them. More predators, Zilfer noted, and the offspring interact with them willingly. Dogs are friends, Sophie explained to the crystalline alien. That's a golden retriever. They're really nice. My dog sleeps in my room. At the park, children climbed trees. They played tag, running and dodging. Some threw frisbees for dogs to catch. Others examined bugs under rocks. Emma sat with the delegates on a bench. What you're seeing is normal human childhood. Play, exploration, minor injuries, and learning. This is how we've raised children for thousands of years. Vextar watched a boy climb high into an oak tree. On my world, offspring remain in protected environments until maturity. They never face danger or physical challenges. They are safe. But are they prepared? Ryan asked gently, for unexpected challenges, for situations requiring strength or quick thinking. The counselor considered this. We have very few unexpected challenges. Our world is carefully controlled. Danger is eliminated before it can manifest. Danny ran over, out of breath from playing Mr. Parker. Can we show them how to play basketball? There's a court over there. Ryan looked at the delegates. Would you like to see another human sport? They agreed. Though, with obvious reluctance, the children demonstrated basketball. They dribbled, passed, and shot at the elevated hoop. Physical contact happened frequently. No one seemed bothered by it. This activity requires rapid decision-making. Zilfer observed complex motor coordination and tolerance for physical contact with competitors. It's just basketball. Danny said between shots, it's fun. We're not trying to hurt each other. We're just playing. Emma noticed Vextar taking extensive notes. Counselor, what conclusions are you drawing? The insectoid alien was quiet for a long moment. I'm beginning to understand something troubling. You are not training warriors. This is simply how humans grow. Your planet demands this from your children, or our children demand it from themselves. Emma suggested, humans are naturally curious and energetic. We want to test our limits and learn new skills. Earth provides countless opportunities for that. As the day ended, children said goodbye to the aliens. Many asked when they would visit again. Some offered drawings they had made. Hannah gave Vextar a band-aid for his journey on the way back. Myris spoke softly. Those children faced more danger today than I have in my entire life. Falls, insects, predators, other children. Yet they smiled constantly. They seemed happy, because they are happy. Ryan confirmed, childhood should be joyful. Learning and growing shouldn't feel like torture. Earth is challenging, but humans are built for it. Vextar looked back at the playground one last time. Children were still playing as parents arrived to collect them. I came here expecting to find warriors. Instead, I found children. But perhaps that is even more remarkable. You turn children into adults who can thrive on a death world. And they do it willingly, even joyfully. Dr. Alex Chun welcomed the delegation to the medical research facility with professional courtesy. The building housed some of Earth's most advanced biological research. Holographic displays showed detailed human anatomy. The aliens seemed anxious about what they might learn. Thank you for coming. Honored delegates, Alex began. Today we'll explore human physiology in depth. I think you'll find our biology quite interesting. Matt Rodriguez waited in the adjacent gymnasium. The Olympic athlete had agreed to demonstrate human physical capabilities. He stretched casually, warming up for the presentation. His muscular frame moved with practiced ease. Vextar examined the holographic skeleton floating before them. Dr. Chen, I notice your species has significant redundancy. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, paired organs throughout. This seems inefficient. Alex smiled at the observation. Redundancy is one of humanity's greatest survival features. If one kidney fails, the other sustains life. We can survive with partial lung function. Our bodies are designed with backup systems. Zilther projected his own species anatomy for comparison. His crystalline structure had no redundancy. Each component was unique and essential. On my world, such duplication would waste resources. Evolution favored efficiency over durability. Different environments create different solutions. Alex acknowledged Earth's dangers required durability. Humans needed to survive injuries that would kill. Other species, Dr. Chris Taylor, joined them from the emergency room. The veteran physician had seen countless trauma cases. He carried a tablet full of case studies. Want to see some examples of human survival? He asked. The delegation reviewed medical records with growing astonishment. A construction worker fell 4 stories and broke both legs. 6 months later, he returned to work. A woman survived a car crash that should have been fatal. Her bones healed stronger than before. This healing factor. Myris said in wonder, your bones regenerate after breaking. They actually become stronger at the fracture site. The human body adapts to stress. Chris explained, broken bones deposit extra calcium during healing. Muscles grow larger when challenged. Our immune system remembers every pathogen it fights. Alex pulled up another hologram showing the skeletal system. Human bones are living tissue. They constantly rebuild themselves throughout life. They respond to the demands we place on them. Vextar studied the data carefully. This adaptive capability is remarkable. But surely it has limits. Chris brought up more files. A hiker survived 3 days lost in freezing mountains. A swimmer endured jellyfish stings that would kill most species. A farmer recovered from a venomous snake bite with proper treatment. Humans have impressive tolerance ranges. Chris said, we survive temperatures from -40 to +50 Celsius. We can go weeks without food, days without water. Our bodies enter conservation mode under extreme stress. Matt entered the presentation room, ready for his demonstration. The athlete stood 2 meters tall with obvious muscle definition. The delegates unconsciously stepped back. Don't worry, Matt said with a friendly grin. I'm here to show you what human bodies can do, not to scare you. Alex directed everyone to the gymnasium. Equipment filled the space weights, running tracks, climbing walls, all designed to push human limits. Matt represents peak human physical condition. Alex explained, but his abilities are accessible to any healthy human with training. He's extraordinary but not superhuman. Matt approached a barbell loaded with weights. He lifted it overhead with controlled power. 200 kilograms rose. Smoothly, the alien's instruments beeped frantically. The muscle density, Zilther exclaimed, the energy expenditure. This single action would exhaust most species. Matt lowered the weight and smiled. I can do that about 5 more times before needing rest. Then I'll recover in a few minutes and do it again. He moved to the running track at Alex's signal. He began sprinting. His speed reached 40 kilometers per hour. His breathing remained controlled and rhythmic mirrors checked her calculations twice. The cardiovascular efficiency, the oxygen processing. How is this possible under Earth's gravity? Alex displayed internal scans of Matt's body during exercise. Watch his heart rate, respiration, muscle activation. Everything works in harmony. Humans evolved to run long distances. We used to hunt prey by chasing them until they collapsed from exhaustion. Vexstar's antennae trembled. Persistence hunting. You outlasted other predators through pure endurance. Our ancestors could run for hours. Matt said, barely winded. Modern humans maintain that capability. Marathon runners cover 42 kilometers regularly. Some ultramarathon athletes run over 100 kilometers in one day. The athlete demonstrated flexibility next. He touched his toes. Bent backwards, stretched in ways that seemed impossible. His joints moved through full ranges of motion. No pain showed on his face. Human joints are reinforced but flexible. Alex explained, cartilage protects bone ends. Tendons and ligaments provide stability while allowing movement. We're not the strongest species or the fastest, but we're incredibly versatile. Matt climbed the wall next. His fingers found holds that seemed impossibly small. He pulled his body weight upward with just his hands 20 meters up. He hung by one arm to wave. Upper body strength in humans is exceptional. Chris noted, our shoulder joints allow 360 degrees of rotation. We can throw objects with great force and accuracy. This helped us develop tools and weapons. Delegates watched in silence as Matt descended. He wasn't even breathing hard. Want me to show you the parkour course? He asked. Before they could respond, Matt ran toward a series of obstacles. He vaulted over barriers, rolled smoothly, jumped between platforms. His body flowed through complex movements. Each landing absorbed impact without injury. Zilthar approached Alex quietly. Dr. Chun, this demonstration frightens me, not because of aggression, but because it reveals what humans are capable of. Matt is just an athlete, Alex said gently. Millions of humans train like this for sport and fitness. We enjoy pushing our physical limits. It makes us feel alive. Chris brought the group to his presentation area. Let me share some emergency room statistics. The data appeared on screens around them. Humans survived falls from heights that should pulverize bone. People walked away from vehicle crashes with minor injuries. Patients recovered from blood loss that would kill other species. Burns, cuts, broken bones, all healable given proper treatment. Your species has remarkable trauma resistance. Vexstar observed, combined with your healing factor and redundant systems. You are built to survive violence. We're built to survive Earth. Chris corrected. Violence is just one danger among many. Natural disasters, accidents, disease. Our world required bodies that could take punishment and keep going. Alex showed them more data about human immune systems. Every human carries antibodies from thousands of previous infections. Our white blood cells attack foreign invaders. We have multiple layers of defense against disease. Skin, mucous membranes, stomach acid, immune response. Myris has examined her own biology in comparison. My species has one defensive layer. If it fails, we die. You have 4 separate systems working together. We needed them all. Alex said simply, Earth has countless pathogens, bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungi. Without strong immune systems, humans wouldn't have survived long enough to develop civilization. The presentation concluded with historical data. Alex showed them human migration patterns from Africa. Humanity spread to every continent, ice ages. Deserts, jungles, mountains. Humans adapted to all of them. Your species conquered an entire planet. Vexstar said slowly, not through technology but through biological versatility. You survived everything your death world threw at you. We did more than survive. Matt interjected, we thrived. Humans built cities, created art, developed science. Earth challenged us, and we rose to meet it. Chris pulled up a final image, a newborn human baby. Tiny and helpless. This is where every human starts, completely. Dependent on adults for survival. But watch what happens next. Time-lapse images showed human growth, baby to toddler, to child, to teenager, to adult. Each stage brought new capabilities. By age 20, humans reached full physical maturity. In 2 decades, Alex explained, we transformed from helpless infants into capable adults. We learned to walk, run, climb, swim. We build strength, endurance, coordination, all while our brains develop complex thought. Zilther created a comparison chart. Human development versus his own species. Your maturation is faster and more comprehensive. My kind takes 40 years to reach full development, but we never achieve your physical capabilities. Different worlds, different needs. Alex reminded him, your world doesn't require our kind of strength, but Earth demanded it from us. Vexstar looked at Matt, still barely tired from his demonstration. I understand now why Earth is rated Class 12. The planet is extraordinarily dangerous, but you are not victims of that danger. You are products of it. Earth forged you into something formidable. Matt extended his hand for a handshake. Vexstar hesitated before touching it with his crystalline appendage. The athlete's grip was firm but gentle, controlled strength. Offered in friendship, we're not trying to intimidate anyone, Matt said sincerely. We just want to share what humanity can contribute. Yes, we're physically capable, but we're also kind, creative, and eager to help. As the delegation left the facility, Chris spoke with a last think. The Galactic Council chamber filled with anticipation as delegates took their seats. 3 weeks had passed since the delegation returned from Earth. Jake Morrison and Lisa Hayes stood at the human podium once again. This time, their future in the galactic community would be decided. Elder Kronoth called the session to order. We gather to hear the report from our delegation to Earth. Counselor Vexstar will present their findings. The chamber fell silent. Vexstar approached the central platform. His movements seemed different now. More confident. He had spent 72 hours on Earth instead of the required 48 honored council members. I must begin with an admission. The chamber stirred with curiosity. I volunteered for this delegation because I feared humanity. A Class 12 world has never produced intelligent life before. I believe humans must be dangerous, possibly violent. I was wrong. Murmurs spread through the assembled delegates. Jake and Lisa exchanged glances. This was not what they expected. Let me be clear. Vexstar continued. Earth is indeed a Class 12 death world. Our classification was accurate. The dangers are real and numerous. However, our interpretation was flawed. He activated the holographic display. Images of Earth appeared, showing its beauty and its hazards. We assumed a death world would create monsters. Instead, it created survivors. Zilther floated forward to add his observations. The human home world challenges its inhabitants constantly. Extreme weather, dangerous wildlife, toxic plants, volatile geology. Yet humans have adapted to thrive in these conditions. Myris has joined them at the platform. Her voice was steadier now, more assured. I witnessed human children playing in conditions that would hospitalize adult members of my species. They fell. They recovered. They continued. Pain and minor injury are learning experiences for them. The council listened intently as each delegate shared their experiences, stories of human resilience, adaptability, and kindness. The playground that looked like combat training, the casual consumption of substances other species considered toxic. We observed a human athlete. Zilther reported. His physical capabilities exceeded our projections. Strength, endurance, speed, flexibility, all combined in one individual. And he was considered merely exceptional among his kind, not unique. A delegate from a peaceful, agricultural world spoke up. This confirms our fears. Humans are physically superior and come from a violent world. They will dominate us through force. Jake stepped forward. Seeking permission to speak, Elder Cronoth nodded. If I may address the council, Ambassador Morrison, please proceed. Jake walked to stand beside the delegation. I understand your concerns. Earth did make us strong, but it also taught us other lessons. Lisa joined him. We learned that strength without wisdom is dangerous. That power must be used responsibly. That the strong have a duty to protect, not dominate. Vextar turned to face the council. This is what I came to tell you. Humanity's first action when they achieved space travel was to seek peaceful contact. They followed all protocols perfectly. They waited patiently for our response. They could have taken what they wanted by force. They chose diplomacy instead. Skeptical delegate challenged this. Perhaps they simply lack the military capacity. Maybe they are not as formidable as you suggest. Vextar's antennae twitched. I have reviewed Earth's history extensively. Humans have fought among themselves for millennia. They developed weapons of tremendous destructive power. Nuclear devices, biological agents, chemical weapons. They created tools capable of destroying their entire planet. The chamber erupted in alarmed voices. This was new information. Several delegates called for immediate rejection of humanity's application. But here's what matters. Vextar said loudly, commanding attention. They chose to stop using those weapons. They created treaties, agreements, international laws. They decided cooperation was better than conflict. And they did this before they met us. Elder Krenoth stroked his whiskers thoughtfully. You are saying humans are capable of great violence, but choose peace. I am saying humans understand the cost of violence intimately. Vextar replied, they have seen what happens when strength is misused. They learned from their mistakes. Now they seek to join us as partners, not conquerors. Zilther projected comparison data. I analyzed human behavior patterns during our visit. They showed us their children, their homes, their vulnerabilities. A species planning conquest would never reveal such weaknesses. They trusted us because they wanted us to trust them. Myers has added her perspective. I observed human parents with their offspring. The care, the love, the patience. Humans are fiercely protective of their young, but they are also gentle and nurturing. These traits coexist in them naturally. Another delegate raised a concern. What of their physical advantages? In any conflict, they would overwhelm most species. Lisa addressed this directly. Our strength is matched by our empathy. We don't enjoy violence. We avoid it when possible, but we will defend ourselves and others if necessary. Jake continued her thought. Earth taught us to be strong so we could survive, but it also taught us to value life. Every human knows how fragile existence can be. We've all lost people we love to accidents, disease, or disaster. That makes us appreciate life more, not less. Vextar presented his formal recommendation. After careful observation and analysis, I propose we grant humanity full membership in the Galactic Council, with special provisions. The chamber quieted to hear the details. Humans possess unique capabilities that could benefit the entire galaxy. Their physical resilience suits them for emergency response, disaster relief, rescue operations, hazardous environment exploration. We should utilize these strengths constructively, Zilther added. Humanity's adaptability can help us understand other death worlds. They might find resources or solutions we cannot access. Their perspective is valuable precisely because it's different from ours. Elder Cronoth considered the recommendation. Are there any objections to this proposal? Several delegates spoke, voicing concerns, but their worries were addressed one by one. The delegation's eyewitness accounts carried significant weight. Their initial fear had transformed into respect. The delegate from Aquatic World offered support. My people are vulnerable. In many environments, having allies who thrive in harsh conditions could save lives. I support humanity's membership. More voices joined in agreement. The tide of opinion shifted. Fear gave way to cautious optimism. Mr. concluded his presentation. I went to Earth expecting to find savages. Instead, I found a species that conquered the unconquerable. Not through cruelty, but through resilience. Not through dominance, but through adaptation. They are what a death world creates when evolution favors cooperation over aggression. Elder Cronoth called for the formal vote. All in favor of granting humanity full membership in the Galactic Council. Lights illuminated across the chamber, one by one. Delegates registered their votes. The tally appeared on the central display. Unanimous approval. Jake felt a wave of emotion. Decades of work had led to this moment. Lisa gripped his shoulder supportively. We did it, she whispered. The council chamber erupted in ceremonial sounds. Each species expressed approval in their own way. Vexstar approached Jake and Lisa. Welcome to the Galactic Council. Ambassador Morrison, Commander Hayes. Thank you, Counselor. Jake replied. Humanity is honored by your trust. Celebrations erupted across Earth when the news arrived. Cities lit up with fireworks. People gathered in streets and squares. A new chapter of human history had begun weeks later. Jake and Lisa stood on an observation deck overlooking Earth. The blue planet turned slowly beneath them. Clouds swirled in familiar patterns. Do you think they truly understand us? Lisa asked. I think they're beginning to, Jake replied. Vexstar gets it now. Earth made us tough, but it also made us compassionate. Lisa smiled at the view. You know what's funny? We showed them everything about Earth. The weather, the predators, the gravity. But we never mentioned some of the really dangerous stuff. Jake laughed. Like what? Like Australia, Lisa said with a grin. The spiders, the snakes, the jellyfish. The fact that even the plants try to kill you there, or the oceans. Jake added, sharks, pressure, temperature extremes. The Mariana Trench would blow their minds. They both chuckled at the thought. Should we tell them? Lisa wondered. Jake shook his head. Let's give them time to adjust first. Maybe in a few years. Once they're used to the idea of humans. Lisa looked at the stars beyond. Earth, thousands of civilizations out there, waiting to meet humanity. What do you think our role will be in the galaxy? Jake considered the question carefully. I think we'll be the ones who go where others can't. The dangerous missions. The difficult rescues. The places that scare everyone else. So basically, Lisa said, we're the galaxy's emergency responders. And explorers, Jake added, and protectors when needed. Earth prepared us for challenges. Now we get to use that. Preparation to help others. A message arrived on Jake's communicator. Vexstar was requesting a meeting. Apparently, a Mayan colony on a high-gravity world needed assistance. Equipment failure. Dangerous conditions. Would humans be willing to help as they left to prepare for the mission? Jake paused. He looked back at Earth one more time, the planet that forged humanity through fire and ice, through danger and beauty, through challenge and wonder. Thank you, he whispered to his